What concerns him and concerns you most about where we are now, right now?
Well, our country has changed so much, and we've seen the moral decline, and that moral decline being led, by the Obama administration and championing things like same-sex marriage, which is really defiance against God. Same-sex marriage is a sin against God. God made us male and female, and then to say that marriage is now between two men or two women, this is sin. And the Obama administration is celebrating sin, and they are pushing sin. Now, for a gay person, I don't want to bash them. I'm not bashing them, but I want them to know the truth, that the lifestyle that they're living, God will one day judge that. And they'll stand before God, and God will condemn that, and they will spend an eternity separated from Him. But can a gay person be forgiven? Yes. But they have to turn, like any of us. If we are sinners, we have to turn from our sin. We can't say, God, we love you, and we believe in Jesus Christ, but yet continue on in the sins that we're doing, whether it be murdering people, or whether it be stealing, whether it be, committing adultery, cheating on your wife or your husband, and say, oh yes, I love Jesus, but you continue into your sin. No, you have to turn from those sins. And so for a gay person or anyone else, you have to be willing to turn and leave those sins. And can you be forgiven? Yes. And you can have that assurance, knowing that your sins are forgiven, and that one day when you do stand before God, He's going to accept you and welcome you because you believed in His Son, Jesus Christ, by faith.
And one thing that I find interesting is that you actually are a big Facebook user. I follow your page. I look at what you write, and you were saying if your father had it, it would have been interesting at a time when that was blowing up for him, and it was a different world then. Obviously everyone's going to get critiqued, and what you just said, people will critique, and you know that, and you're no stranger to it. And how do you respond when critics say, "Oh, well, you're so different from your father in the way you address issues, and he was this way and you're that way"?
Well, that's true. I'm different. I'm not my father, and but my father was also outspoken in his younger years. I mean, he spoke out against communism. He spoke out about issues, and
he was friends with Martin Luther King, and
no question. Right. And he was criticized for that. He went to the Soviet Union to preach, and he was criticized by evangelicals, saying that he had given in to the communists. So, I mean, my father had some controversy in his day, but he did always what he thought was the right thing.
Yeah, and and you see these things pop. We live in a different world. You said that too. So the issues are different. I mean, yes. Who knows? Would your father have spoken out in similar ways on some of these issues had those been the issues of the day back then? Would you say?
I think today he would have spoken out, especially on things like same-sex marriage, because this is just so wrong, and God will judge our country for this. And my father would just be, not pointing a finger at anybody, but just giving a warning to our nation that what we're doing is wrong.
The Church Boys.